Great process going. And inflation is virtually non-existent. As you know, we're taking in trillions of dollars from tariffs, and they've been so incredible for our country.
You serious?
Señores, lo que pasó el día de hoy en el Reino Unido con Donald Trump fue un auténtico desastre. Tuvo una conferencia de prensa junto al primer ministro británico Keir Starmer durante esta visita oficial. Y créanme amigos, fue un espectáculo lleno de mentiras, contradicciones y momentos muy vergonzosos. Primero, Donald Trump empezó hablando de Rusia, diciendo que la situación en realidad no representa ningún tipo de amenaza para Estados Unidos, ni para Europa, ni para el Reino Unido. Es más, se atrevió a insinuar que pronto habrían buenas noticias. Escuchen.
But the Russia situation, I hope we're going to have some good news for you coming up. But again, it doesn't affect the United States. And look, it doesn't so much affect you. Of course, you are a lot closer to the scene than we are. We have a whole ocean separating us. But
luego siguió con su típica costumbre, ¿no? De inventarse cifras. Dijo que en solo 8 meses, Estados Unidos ha recibido 17 trillones de dólares en inversiones. 17 trillones, señores. Obviamente es algo falso, ¿no? Un número sacado de la nada. Vean esto.
$17 trillion, and this is during an 8-month period, being invested in the country, which is not only a record, but if you compare $17 trillion to the last year of the Biden administration, they did $250 billion. They didn't do $1 trillion for the 4-year period. We did $17 trillion of investment coming in. A lot of it's because of tariffs, and a lot of it's for a lot of other reasons, but there's never been anything like it. It's an economic superstar. That's what's become. It was mismanaged and badly handled for a long period of time, but it's not badly handled anymore. So that's a record. And remember, that's up until 8 months. We have another few months to go, and that number is going to get significantly higher, especially if we win a certain case that we're waiting to hear.
Luego, un periodista le lanzó una pregunta muy incómoda sobre Lord Mandelson, embajador británico en Washington, que por cierto fue despedido luego de que se haya revelado sus vínculos con Jeffrey Epstein. Y no solo las cartas, sino que también los correos electrónicos, donde prácticamente pues lo defendía. ¿Qué fue lo que hizo Trump? Fingir que no lo conoce. Vean esto.
Scare him and impose sanctions. And finally, if I may, the elephant in the room, Lord Mandelson, he is no longer the ambassador. Do you have some sympathy with him that he lost his job over historic links to Jeffrey Epstein? Thank you very much, sir.
I don't know him, actually. I had heard that, and I think maybe the Prime Minister would be better speaking of that. That was a choice that he made, and I don't know. What is your answer to that?
Well, I mean, it's very straightforward. Some information came to light last week which wasn't available when he was appointed, and I made a decision about it, and that's very clear.
O sea, ¿en serio, Donald? Claro que lo conoces. Es más, me di el trabajo de traer las pruebas. Hasta la Casa Blanca publicó fotos y comunicados elogiando su trabajo, compartiendo momentos en la oficina Oval. No solo no lo conoce, sino que es hasta parte del mismo círculo en el que también andaba Epstein. Así que, señores, ¿será demencia o otro intento de lavarse las manos? No lo sé. Pero bueno, no crean que terminó ahí, porque Trump volvió a repetir la misma mentira de que ganó en el año 2020 por mucho, cuando en realidad perdió por más de 7 millones de votos. Y encima dijo que ya resolvió la inflación, los precios, prácticamente todo. Estados Unidos nuevamente en su edad dorada. Nada más lejos de la realidad. Escuchen.
And you see all the information that's come out. We won in 2020 big. And I said, let's run. We got to run because I saw what was happening. And the worst thing that I saw was all of these people. You know, we've already solved inflation. We've solved prices. Oil is way down. Energy is way down in the United States.
Como si fuera poco, se trabó tratando de pronunciar Azerbaiyán. Terminó diciendo Azerbaiyán, Albania. Y bueno, confundiendo conflictos internacionales. Básicamente no tiene ni la menor idea de qué país era del que estaban hablando. Escuchen.
That one's not settled. To think that we settled Azerbaijan and Albania as an example, it was going on for years. It was never going to be settled. If you remember, the prime minister and the presidents, they were there for many years. They said, when they were in my office, we settled. And they started off at both sides of the Oval Office, so far away. I didn't know you could be so far away. And as we were together for an hour, they kept getting closer, closer. And by the time we finished, we all hugged each other.
Y claro, no podía faltar su famoso ataque contra las energías renovables. Volvió a la carga contra la energía eólica, con sus ocurrencias de siempre.
Thank you, Jack.
I would like to say that we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. We had inflation, the likes of which we've really never seen. They say 48 years, and I'll accept that, but I really don't. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we had a expression that I used a lot, drill, baby, drill. And as you know, we brought fuel way down, the prices way down. And we don't do wind because wind is a disaster. It's a very expensive joke, frankly. And we got our energy prices way down. That brought the inflation way down. And now we have very little inflation. And we have a very, very strong economy. So that was very important. Drill, baby, drill. And you have a great asset here, and we spoke about it. It's called the North Sea. The North Sea oil is phenomenal, and I hope, because I love this country, you know. My mother was born in Scotland, and the Hebrides, Stornoway, that's serious Scotland. We were talking about it. And I want this country to do well, and you have great assets that you're going to start using, I believe, under this Prime Minister.
Luego otro reportero lo confrontó con el tema de libertad de expresión. Y es que recordemos que recientemente se ha presionado directamente a ciertas cadenas de televisión, como lo es ABC, incluso hasta amenazando con quitarles licencias si es que no se deshacían de Jimmy Kimmel. Todo porque Kimmel se atrevió a mencionar la incomodidad de MAGA cuando se supo que el atacante de Charlie Kirk provenía de una familia republicana, ¿no? ¿Qué hizo Trump? Manipular la historia para justificar el despido de Kimmel. Vean esto.
And on a separate issue, free speech, your Vice President Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you know, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Como si eso no bastara, apareció el novio, la pareja de Marjorie Taylor Greene, con una pregunta ridícula sobre el famoso autopen, diciendo que Biden usaba esa firma automática, ¿no? Y que por eso todos los documentos debían de anularse. Y bueno, pues Donald Trump le siguió el juego.
My question to you, President Trump, is there any update on the auto pen?
Yeah, it's just gotten worse from their standpoint. The people that used it, and one in particular, one person, was never told by Biden to do it.
Más adelante se puso a hablar de TikTok, asegurando que pronto habrá una subsidiaria estadounidense en manos de muy buena gente, ricos, pero patriotas. Básicamente, un negocio para sus amigos multimillonarios. Uno que no soluciona nada, en absoluto, ningún tipo de problema de seguridad nacional, tanto como supuestamente se preocupan en el Congreso. Veamos eso.
TikTok has tremendous value. The United States has that value in its hand because we're the ones that have to approve it. I specifically get the right to approve it. The people that are investing in it are among the greatest investors in the world, the biggest, the richest, and they'll do a great job. And we're doing it in conjunction with China. But we are getting, the United States is getting a tremendous fee plus. I call it a fee plus for just making the deal. And I don't want to throw that out the window. I can say this, that you'll have a lot of very unhappy youth. And I use TikTok very legitimately, very straight, just statements every day, little statements, short statements. Sir, make it short, please. And TikTok Jack, we call him. It was pretty good. Did a good job for me, I guess. But no, I'd rather reap the benefits. I mean, the kind of money we're talking about is very substantial. And it'll be owned by all American investors and, you know, the best investors and the, you know, very rich people and companies are going to be owning it. Very, very straight, very legitimate companies, and really companies that love America. So they're going to be owning it. It's a big thing. And on a much bigger scale, and probably that's why we were able to get that, but on a much bigger scale, we're pretty close to a deal. We may do an extension with China, but it's an extension based on the same terms that we have right now, which are pretty good terms.
Thank you.
Y claro, como siempre, se jactó de su catastrófico plan presupuestario, el cual, por cierto, está golpeando durísimo a los trabajadores y a las familias.
Aspect of the bill. It was in I call it the big, beautiful bill, the great, big, beautiful bill. We got so much, the largest bill ever passed in the history of our country. In fact, so big that we really don't have to pass too much anymore. We can just do this for 4 years, implement. You know, I like to implement because the bills are wonderful, but you have to implement.
Para cerrar con brecha de oro, volvió a repetir que no hay inflación en Estados Unidos. Una mentira descarada.
Great process going. And inflation is virtually non-existent. As you know, we're taking in trillions of dollars from tariffs, and they've been so incredible for our country, so incredible. We're keeping our companies happy. We're keeping them solid and sane. And they're very, very thrilled at what's happened. They can't even believe it. And
¿Qué les puedo decir, señores? Una conferencia de prensa que más que un acto diplomático, terminó siendo un circo lleno de falsedades y de metidas de pata. Pues bueno, señores, no fue la única metida de pata que hemos visto recientemente. El día de ayer lo que vimos en Washington fue un verdadero terremoto político. Realmente Donald Trump no puede escapar del fantasma de Jeffrey Epstein, y eso nos está quedando claro cada vez en el Congreso. El propio director del FBI, Kash Patel, bajo juramento, no pudo dar las respuestas claras sobre lo que todos sospechamos. ¿Por qué tanto silencio? ¿Qué es lo que se está ocultando? El punto es muy simple. El FBI tiene en sus manos los archivos de Epstein. Eso ya no es un secreto. Documentos que pueden exponer a figuras muy poderosas las que participaron en todo este encubrimiento de esta red de abuso y tráfico sexual. Entre esos nombres, sabemos muy bien que se repite una y otra vez Donald Trump. Y bueno, ayer cuando el jefe del FBI, Kash Patel, fue cuestionado directamente sobre eso, lo único que pudimos ver fueron evasivas y contradicciones. Escuchemos esto.
With what went down today in Washington as Trump's FBI chief facing backlash on these Epstein files.
Why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
How many times did President Trump appear in the Epstein files? More than 100? More than 1,000?
No, and what we've been able to release is what we've been legally able to release, and that has...
No, that's not the question. I asked you, how many times did the president's name appear?
I don't know.
You are hiding the Epstein files, Mr. Patel.
The gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
Are these women credible? It's a yes or no answer.
I have answered the question.
Are you going to cover up?
No,
Are you going to continue to cover up for the rich and powerful men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell. Have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to
Which
release.
court are you talking about?
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait.
Do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own words.
Is Donald Trump on Epstein's client list?
The index has been released, and the index will speak for itself.
So I'm just going to say, America, there's a huge red flag. The FBI director could not answer whether Donald Trump was on Epstein's
Gentleman's
client
time has
list.
expired.
It went on like that for some time. Patel clearly on the ropes at times on defense. Lawmakers were referring to this report from the Fox News sister publication, The Wall Street Journal, that the Justice Department has already told Donald Trump, that was in May, his name is in the Epstein files. That report notes that Patel had referred to this, basically saying other government officials said Trump's name appeared in the files. That's people close to the administration speaking to the Journal. And so that factual predicate, even though Trump has denied some of this, he sued the Journal over a different Epstein report. That is the factual predicate that undergirds the FBI chief under oath facing the barrage of questions.
Did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's
It's a simple question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is simple.
Who
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in theEpstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes
if you're
or
gonna mock
no,
me?
Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your constituency?
Director, did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The question has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
It went on and on like that. Patel was also pressed on Senate testimony from earlier this week regarding whether or not Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to others. Republican Thomas Massie referencing witness statements that implicate others.
These documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files, the files that you control. I don't know exactly who they are, but the FBI does. Have you launched any investigations into any of these people, and have you seen these 302 documents?
Sir, I have asked my FBI agents to review the entirety of the Epstein files and bring forth any credible information.
That's a Republican. The story following Trump wherever he goes. These are the images that greeted him in the UK, arriving for a state visit, projected on Windsor Castle. Trump with Epstein back during their well-known social period. And as we've reported, that period involves a lot of bonding. We'll take this in full. We showed you this case timeline. And when you look back at what happened, the probe, the indictment, the early sweetheart deal with later Trump official Alex Acosta there, and the fact that these two are together is not something that this Congress, including some Republicans now, or around the world, the entire global audience seems to be forgetting. This is a case that literally tracks Donald Trump and his aides wherever they go. I want to bring in Andrew Weissman. He was FBI general counsel, former Mueller prosecutor, MSNBC legal analyst, knows exactly how the FBI can work, has previously worked. It's obviously under very different leadership right now. Just starting with Patel, your thoughts as an FBI chief of how he did and what the problem is in some of those answers.
So let's start with the main issue, which is there's an enormous clamor for
all of the files to be released. And Kash Patel today suggested, maybe more than suggested, that he released everything that he could under some sort of court order, that he couldn't release more because he would be violating a judge's rule. There is no judge who has said that they cannot release these documents. Bill Barr, in the deposition that was released yesterday, said that, I believe, I'm sort of paraphrasing, he is unaware of any law that would prohibit the FBI from releasing the vast, vast majority of these documents. And he is right. Kash Patel saying that there's some sort of judge who has said that he cannot do it is, I'm not going to say is a lie, it is absolutely false. It is just not true that there is some legal prohibition from a court that says that they cannot release this. If there's grand jury material, of course, that's true. But other than that, the vast majority of what can be released could be released today. And that is just not appropriate for the FBI director who owes a duty of candor. He is under oath. And if he just made a mistake, which I don't think is likely, he needs.
Y es que literalmente, amigos, el director del FBI ni siquiera pudo responder si es que Trump aparecía en los archivos de Epstein. Y no estamos hablando de un detalle menor, porque hablamos de un presidente y es el de Estados Unidos, con vínculos públicos, fotos, documentos con Epstein. Y ahora, protegido por un muro de secretismo. Aquí, señores, es donde me quiero detener. Si el FBI realmente quisiera despejar las dudas, podría fácilmente liberar al menos una gran parte de esos documentos hoy mismo. Incluso exfuncionarios como Bill Barr, que fue parte del propio gabinete de Trump, admitieron que no hay ninguna ley que prohíba la publicación de la mayoría de estos archivos. Entonces, ¿por qué insistir en que hay órdenes judiciales que lo impiden? Porque esa es la excusa que simplemente no se sostiene. Y ojo, porque los republicanos quieren vendernos la idea de que esto es un ataque político, pero no, señores, esto es un tema de ambos partidos, es un tema de justicia, es un tema donde sabemos que hay tanto republicanos como demócratas incluidos. Hablamos de una red criminal donde hubo víctimas reales, jóvenes explotadas, la élite poderosa, haciendo todo lo posible por silenciar los nombres que podrían comprometerlos. Lo que nos queda claro es que Trump no puede sacudirse este fantasma de Epstein, no puede sacárselo de encima. Por más que intente demandar periodistas, negarse amistades incómodas, su nombre sigue apareciendo en los lugares donde más le duele. Y mientras el FBI sigue jugando al silencio, la sospecha seguirá creciendo. Pero bueno, amigos, ¿qué opinan ustedes? ¿Creen que el FBI está protegiendo a Trump y a otros poderosos en este caso? ¿Realmente habrán razones legales para poder mantener esos archivos en secreto? Los invito a que me dejen sus opiniones en la caja de comentarios. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme el día de hoy. Recuerden, déjame tu like, comparte el contenido y suscríbete al canal. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.